Hey guys, Karen Evans. I am super excited for this one. We are going to do a sunset. This is actually a sunset view off of my balcony. I know you want to trade places with me. I am never moving from here. We're in Austin overlooking the hill country. Love. Never gonna move. Here you guys, this is what I have mixed up. Let's go ahead and I have a cerulean blue. Get something in the kind of cool blues, ultramarine blue. We just want to have a lot of different varieties so that when we start, we have just it right here to tap into and get going. There's a tiny bit of purple. I have mixed a peach, and to do that, I have a color called Hansa Yellow, which I love. Daniel Smith. I use Arches paper and Daniel Smith watercolor, but you can use about anything. So sort of almost like a peachy skin color, you could mix in a little orange with your red and a little yellow and get something similar. And then I have a warm yellow, pure yellow, and then just pure orange down here. And then for fun, when we get to this part, we have a little bit of a brown purple, and I have just pure yellow up here. Okay, so how are we going to tackle it? It's a good question. I don't know. You tell me because this one's got a lot going on, but we can do this. We definitely can do it. Here's what I did. I blocked out where I'm going to have my peach clouds. Where we're going to have bluish purple, it's fine to leave because we can mix that as we go. But we want to leave this space clear because what if we mix a yellowy, peachish color with a blue, we're going to get a brown. So because it's complementary, so oranges and blues are brown. So I want to keep this space white up here. And this is where I'm going to have some peach, and I'm going to have a little peach highlight right here. And I also blocked off an area for the trees on this side and the trees on this side. And then a small line for the bottom horizon down there. So here we go. Are you excited? Okay, let's do it. So what I'm going to do is let's water down the entire sky area, but do not water inside where we had set aside space for our peach, uh, peach details. Okay, so let's come in here, and I'm actually going to stop about right here. I'm not doing the whole sky. I'm going to stop here because then we can do our oranges down here while this is drying. We also don't want to mix the orange parts with the blue up here because it will muddy it up. Okay, here we go. Let's do really lightly. I'm going to get a light wash of this. It's like super light. And to me, that's looking a little greenish, so I'm going to get a little more. Okay, and let's just drop that in up here. It's going to be super light, just fine, just what we want. And it's going to dry a little bit darker. So go ahead on in here, avoiding our area of clouds that we left. Leave that in there. You don't have to mess with it much, just put it in. I have wet paper, so we're right now painting wet on wet. And just move it around. This is kind of cool. Daniel Smith colors granulate. Some of yours will too, which means they break up into their little granulations and it adds a little bit of texture, which is really cool. You don't even have to do anything. It just happens for you. Okay, so I'm going down to the point where I have my water line, which is like right about here. Continuing to sort of, you can blend that down a little, just drop it in. Don't overwork it. See how I'm starting to overwork it because this is my problem. Guys, I'm learning too. This is my super problem is not overworking because I'm coming from acrylic and oil and whatever. You can just work it on the canvas, keep going and mix it up, but in watercolor, that's really not the best plan. Okay, while this is wet, let's take some of this just pure blue and water it down a little. And let's drop it in a couple places. Like up here, really light. And let's go over here to the side of this one, this cloud over here, where we're going to be ending up adding our purple. Sorry, peach. And then over here, let's give a little drama. Let's have our things kind of go diagonally. And then that will give us a little drama. We need some drama. And then I'm going to do a little bit darker of a blue. Like I did a little here, and let's do a little bit darker just under that. I'm literally just tapping my brush. Just tap it on in, and it will do its thing for us. It's so great. It's really great, this medium, for that reason. Okay, let's go into a little bit of purple. And we're going to tap some of that in here. Just add some where we're going to add around this where we're going to have the peach. You can go right in through here, but leave the peach spot open. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more purple. I ran out. This is the thing. I have a friend from college who said I tried to pick up watercolor last fall, but I always run out of paint and I can't mix the exact great color that I had before. I totally hear you. Just totally happens, Liner. I hear you. Um, but it's fine. That's the thing. It doesn't have to match exactly because it's all gonna blend around in the end. And as long as you're kind of in the same color family, we're good. Okay, so look, I'm making like, it's almost like we're doing little grapes. Like there's a lighter grape, darker grape. So I just want some of that purple a little bit darker over here. Just plop it in and a little darker up here. Like I'm literally plopping it. Remember, we're not going to overwork it too much though. So I'm doing like more of a cool blue up here. I'm sorry, purple. And then when I get down, can you see this? This one is a little more reddish purple. Here, like violet. I'm going to do a little tiny of that as we get down here, because this is where we get closer to the orange. See how that's different? We're getting closer to the real orangey parts at the bottom. So we're going to make that one like a little bit warmer, like reddish. Okay, now I want like super light of this purpley, just one or two more places. I think I'm going to brush some right over here in between, and I want it to be really light, super light, and I think a little at the edge of this blue area. Okay, we're going to leave it or else it is going to get overworked. Now, dry off your brush. Wash it in really clean water. Another thing I've learned is to use really clean water because I learned the hard way. If you have washed your brush in one, so I have two. I have a huge mason jar and then a small mini jar, but I use the huge mason jar as my cleaning water and the small one if I'm wetting an area first. Because even the tiniest amount of pigment, especially if you're using good paints, will color your water. Okay, we're gonna do like a little yellow, a little peachy yellow. So I'm gonna do this and this. And then we have this like really light. And I'm going to not water the area first because I really don't want it to blend up in here. So I'm going to just trust myself to use a light mix of it. So try to avoid, we're avoiding right now this. We do not want it to blend right into there just now. You can go like kind of touch it, but we'll turn brown where it touches. We're going to be careful. There we go. Okay, got that. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow into there, just a little. And we're just kind of gradation going down. Now we can add some more like sharper peaches, stronger peaches. Here we go. And guys, here's what I'm going to talk about this. I probably should have before. I used masking fluid here for where my sun is going to be. But guess what? Let's pretend you don't have it, which is probably most of you. Um, Masking fluid is something you put on over the top. It becomes like sort of gummy and blocks it off, and then you rub it out. I have this. You can rub it out with a hard. It's just like a gum rubber eraser almost, but even harder texture. That's for that. But guess what, guys? You can brush right over the top, and then while it's still wet, take a Q-tip, dip it in clean water, and hold it there. Then have your dry end and hold it there. And that will pull out the color you just put in. That will pull it out so that you have a white space there. Okay, let's get a little bit more orange down here as we go. You can brush it in as you're going up here. And we're going to leave it. We're going to strengthen it a little bit. But right now, this is our first draft. We're fine. Oh, look at that. I just got a nice peach in the middle. Just dab it out so you guys have your paper towel nearby. Okay. Now I kept my tree area open here. I kept my tree area open. It's going to be dark enough to go over the top. I just wanted to keep it open here because I'm going to be adding kind of brownish greenish, and I didn't want that to get in there. Now, let's get the purpley brown we talked about earlier. And let's put that as the horizon line. So purple will make it feel like it's kind of receding a little bit. And it's not real dark. We're not going to make this real dark. I'm doing wet onto dry. And I'm going to just brush that across and not get too much into my orange area. If it does, that's okay. It's going to add a little bit of a horizon line, which is nice. I'm going to put in some areas where it's just a little bit varied. Over here. And you can pull some out. If you have your brush that's dry, you can pull a little out here and there, and that'll make a little highlight for you. We're not really concerned with back here. It's just getting the idea that there's a land area back there. Okay, let's check our sky. Yeah, I think we're ready to go in and do a little bit more strengthening. Let's do our peach first. So grab that peach that you had mixed up. Remember, you could use an orange or a red with some yellow, and be sure to add a little more yellow and make that a nice peach color. And we're using this at like a pretty light strength. And I'm gonna do it wet on dry, and I'm gonna do it here at the bottom and then pull some up. I'm dabbing it to the bottom of my clouds here and then pulling a little up, because that'll give us a little bit of heaviness at the bottom. Just kind of give it a little bit of weight to the clouds. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna add the tiniest bit of rose into this one. So I have a little more rose into my peach mixture for the next area. So like right here, it's gonna be real light. It's okay, and you can go over a little the edges here. That's just gonna blend it in for you. Okay, I'm also gonna do it a little rosy of the peach over here, and remember where we had left a little bit inside this purple cloud. That is brown. We do not want, so I'm going back because that was just really right there. And a little bit more peach. I might make this a little darker. I'm just dabbing dots of peach there. While this is wet, the peach powder, I'm gonna add a little bit more peach to the bottom of this second cloud that we had in the top there area. Okay, just a little down here. See? Just a little bit, and then that'll just add a little bit more of the shadow at the bottom there. And then you can throw some peach in here now. Look, this is kind of dry, so we're okay right now to drag. I'm dragging a brush that has just a little bit of water and a lot of paint, and I'm gonna go ahead and drag it across a little bit in a couple areas, not everywhere. Maybe here. Just, you don't want it like too uniform. Do a little over here. I have my peach color on my brush, and I'm barely touching it to it. Barely. No, we'll make it a little drama like coming in down here a little bit. Okay, now we are ready, I think, to add a little bit more yellow into and darker orange into the sunset area. So here we go with some orange. And I'm gonna add a little red to my orange and make that a little stronger. And then I'm gonna just brush that along down in here and close to the sun and above it. And I'm brushing it along with the side of my brush, just adding in there, just getting little swipes. And we really want this kind of a yellowy orange. So pick up some yellow into there and get your bright yellow right around the sun. Let's go on top of the sun and around it. And then it's going to feather out to lighter as we go here. So you can add a little bit of water, just spread that out over here. And same thing over here. Let's spread it till it gets lighter as we're going away from the sun. The concentrated color should be right over here. Okay. Let's do like a little bright up here. A little bit of bright above. I'm taking pure yellow right now. And let's take the pure yellow and drop it in, and a little bit right around the sun itself. So let's have that go right around where you have your circle for the sun. Remember, mine's going to come out white when I pull it. If you guys have saved yours with the Q-tip, make sure to keep that in mind. Keep your Q-tip handy and just keep dabbing it in there. You can also take a dry brush and just brush some of that out, or wet, and then dab your paper towel on top to just preserve that area. Okay, let's see what else. Let's strengthen the sky a little bit. So the sky is good to go right now with a little bit. So I'm going to all of my original colors up here. I'm gonna I had this plain blue up here, sort of like a regular, like sort of bluish gray. And I'm going to put this in a couple of spots where we had our clouds going before, over here. And then let's put some of that over here and heading up. So anywhere I had like a cloud shape, I'm just going to put some of this blue over. And you can have a little bit to vary. So we're just trying to create like a bunch of different shades in the sky so it's not all one. I'm kind of choosing this part to be the lightest. So everything else we want like around here a little light. So I may actually tap this up for a little bit lighter here too, right here. So I'm trying to have the lights going kind of down in the middle here. Okay, and then what that effect will happen some more as we add some more darks. Okay, let's get into the purple and tap some more of that in at the bottom. Not too much water on this because we're not trying to pull up what we had before or create any water blooms. Okay, let's do some down here on the bottom of that purple area. And I'm going to keep that the way that it is, maybe add a little bit. All right, wash off your brush. We're going to get just a little bit of blue, strengthening that up in there. So let's add into there just a little where we had some of that before. And then we're keeping this like sort of pathway through here. Okay. Let's go down over here and do our tree area. So for the trees, I'm going to do a green mixed in with some brown and some gray. So let's not gray, but like a purpley. So I'm getting a sap green. We want this to be really dark because they're kind of silhouetted as the sun is going down. So we'll get some purples to do our, we can do a green with a little purple because especially if we use a purpley red. So I'll get that. And then that together will give us a darker green. Let's get that going. So we have this kind of dark, I need more green in that mix. Okay, there's a good dark and like an olivey, dark green, brown. And then we'll have little dabs of our regular green here. And we'll keep those towards the edges. Okay, let's do that lighter first. Just the regular old green. We'll plop that in. Now for this, guys, literally just tap around. We're just creating the smallest hints of that this is a tree over here, bush. Just vary it up. It is going to go down over here. It's going to look different here. It's fine. We're going to add some purpley browns over there. So all the way here. And then I have it, a smaller one over here. Just kind of framing it. And then this one can go like that. Simple, simple, simple. While it's wet, we can dab in our next, which is that darker green that I made. And you can put that into here. We don't want to muddy it up too much, but we can do that now while it's wet. A little over here, especially towards the bottom. And we're going to darken that up again. While we have that color, let's add a little bit of purple to it and dry brush a little bit more into the background. Taking a brush that's almost dry, it's adding a little bit of that green. And then I actually might add a little orange with my purpley because that will give us, especially towards the center, because that's going to give us like the little area where it's reflecting, and that might be pretty cool where the sun is kind of shining back there. So let's try that. So I'm making like a warm brown, and I'm gonna put that in the back a little bit here and see how that goes. It kind of like that. We can add some of that in, and then we're gonna have to let this dry. This is my also worst thing. I always want to keep working on it, but you have to let it dry. You have to have the patience to do it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. Let's leave it. And then while we're waiting, we can do a little bit more around the sun. I'm going to go back and make sure your brush is clean. It doesn't have any of that green mixture that we had before, any of the purple. I want it to be straight yellow and or beautiful oranges and peaches. So let's get some of that. I'm getting my peach mix back here because, like my friend said, you mix it up and then you lose your color. It's fine. We're fine. We're gonna get it. Okay. Brushing some of that in here. Since that's dry, I'm adding a little bit more everywhere here. And yellow as well. We want to have more yellow around this part as it goes out. But try not to go over areas you've just painted. I'm going to add the tiniest light peach. I'm going to get a little peach that I like. Peachy orange. I'm going to do the tiniest light bit of that in a couple of areas. Really light, like up here. A couple of lines you can put in. And I'm going to add a little here where I had my couple of my spots. There's one. There's some over here. I'm going to make this part a little darker. This part a little bit darker. And you can brush some in. And it can go around the bottom of the blue a little bit, it's fine. That'll just make it darker down there. Then I might just have one or two in there. Don't mess too much. Listen as I'm saying. I'm doing what I'm saying not to do, but don't mess up too much by putting too much brush work down in there. You can tap a little in here. This is just a little. I'm going to put a little bit more purpley down back here. Purpley green, because that's in the back there. I don't really want much in there at all, just showing that it's land. This shouldn't be like so super white. But okay. And then we are going to strengthen these trees. I'm going to take my my masking fluid off in a little bit. While I'm here, just for fun if you'd like, I just got my brush completely soaking wet, and I'm going to rub out maybe two, we don't want to make it look like comical, but two lines of sun rays kind of coming down here. And I'm doing that just by using water and pulling that color up. And when you use your paper towel, I'm going to grab mine, or you can use, I'm going to use this, the drier end of my Q-tip. Then that kind of does it for you. So we just had a couple of little lines. I won't really have to do anything with it. Just make them there. Just pull it out. It's going to fill back in a little with some paint, but that's fine. Okay, let's work on, since this is kind of dry over here, let's darken our greens over here. So I'm going to get a purpley greenish brown. I'm going to go back to my number 4 brush, and here's green, sap green. Here's purple. Mix that in. See how it's getting darker, a lot darker. And I don't think I'm going to add brown. I think I'm good right now. And then this is going to give us a lot of good shadowing. So my mixture is kind of wet right now. It's like a medium consistency. It's not like completely clear and liquidy, and it's not thick. It's medium thickness, if that makes sense. And I'm going to dab around where we want our darker areas of this tree. Do it over here as well. Kind of silhouetted. add a few things in there. We'll keep, I'm making just little lines. They're going to blend out. They're going to spread out a little. Then I'm making some lines for just branches. I'll let that dry and add a little, couple of lines of darkening the front closer to us of the land. Too much. While that is wet, I'm going to put a little touch more of our green into the brown mixture. Stabs. It will all turn kind of brownish, but we're going to add in some more of our green. Perfectly fine. I'm just dropping it in pretty, not super wet. I don't want it to all go into a big puddle. And then where we have these, this lighter green from our first layer, I'm just kind of leaving that at the edge. Like there's some light coming through the back of it, right? And we could maybe even add a little touch of really lemony yellow green there to make it look like, this would be really cool, to make it look like there is, so let's try that. A little bit of orange, a little bit of like a yellowy orange on the tips. Just a little in there to make it look like, and it has to be kind of light. Just barely. So it almost looks like there's just a little sun glistening out there off the green. And you could do a lemony yellow green, but I'm gonna try that. Let's try. I don't want it to be muddy. We got sort of like a little warmish greenish. The tiniest bit of green in it. Right, maybe right here. Yeah, I like that. You can do that over here too. Just a little bit. See what I'm saying? Can you guys see that? It's just given this idea that there is some yellow in it. In the tree, an extra little emphasis on the sun. Okay. There was a lot of effort, but that's going to make a difference. Let's go, guys. This is our third round of going back around the sun, but we got this. Let's do it. I'm going to get my pinky peach, and I'm going to go right around the sun here. It's totally worth it because it's going to give us all this nice color. And I'm doing it down at the bottom line here again. See, we're just adding our third layer. We just kind of have to build it up. If you use like illustration markers or something else, it's the same. You're building layer upon layer, and that's our biggest tool, is that this layers so well. But you have to be a little patient. I have the attention span of a goldfish, so I tend to go in and start working on it while it's still wet. Okay. There we go. Brush it up here. Using kind of dry. I'm going to add anywhere you see you might need like a little bit more yellow, little touch of something. You can go ahead now, since it's kind of dry, and just lightly brush it in. I'm going to do my little yellow right here. I like I needed it. And a little yellow under this line where we kind of broke up the purple on two different areas. Tiny bit across the top, dry brushing. Dry brushing, I'm taking it on the side and dragging it across. And then, guys, I'm going to do my darkest orangey, yellowy right around the sun. Kind of save the best for last. Get it right in here. And I'm going to pull these sun things out again, the sunbeams. That, look, guys, right around that sun. Look. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. You guys know I get this like almost every night. We are so lucky. It is amazing. We are in a rental townhouse community that has the most gorgeous hill country views. Okay, I'm leaving. So I'm going to do the orange here, and then I'm leaving it not over here as much because they're kind of getting away from the sun. I'm going to do one more peach. right above, look, right here. A little bit more peach to strengthen, a little peach down here is fine. And then, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I'm really liking this. It's really looking like what I see out my back each night. Guys, you need to grab a glass of wine and come join me. Okay, here we go. We need to take this trip. We need to take this fun over to Napa. Get this party going over there. All right, here we go. I'm pretty happy with it. I've got some streaks, but they are going to dry well for me. I'm gonna, in a couple of these areas up here, I'm gonna soften the edges of the shadows. One mistake I made is not to erase my pencil up here. I'm hating that, but I'm gonna rub it up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna be fine. And I'm gonna do one last, I want this to be a little lighter up here. So I'm kind of flooding it with water, and then I'm quickly gonna pull it off with a paper towel. There. Okay. And I don't know what happened to the screen. Look, it just got in it from the tree, I think. So we're gonna rub that out too. It's fine. It's not too bad. But that's the other good thing. You can kind of erase mistakes with this. As long as it's been kind of dried and you're not jacking up everything, you can go in and dab it off. Okay, I'm happy with that. See, I lightened it up a bit. I wanted it more to be the sort of same value as over here. Okay, now, last but not least, guys, let's do, I'm going to wash my brush over here and just soften the bottom. Check the bottoms of your clouds and see if you want to soften the bottoms, which is just to water them a little bit and get rid of anywhere that you had kind of a hard edge. I want it a little softer at the edges, so I'm just putting like a medium wet brush over some of it, and it like sort of softens and blends it out a little. That's what I'm doing here. And then I'm gonna do, it's fine over here, I think, but you can do it over there too. So I'm really focusing like on the bottom of some of the clouds. This part here, this is ridiculous. Let's get rid of that. So the reason how I'm getting rid of it is just softening it. Okay. And then we can put some of that purple and drag it into that part. And we can soften this. Okay, I'm happy with that. Are you guys ready? You can do one more if you want to do one more little bit of sort of this stripe across the bottom of like an orangey. I'm gonna do that, guys. We're gonna go right here. I just got an orangey burnt sienna color, and I'm going right across the bottom, and that's gonna make that like kind of stand out as our horizon. I think that is the pièce de résistance. I think we just added. I think we just got what we wanted. I don't know if it's what you wanted, but it's what I wanted. So hopefully you guys are happy with yours and what you've been choosing, what choices you made. That's the great thing. You have so many choices. Let's pull out the sun rays again because we kind of lost them there. There we go. I'm gonna pull this one out. And then dab it, remember, with my little brush. Now, here's the fun. I'm gonna let that dry just a bit. I'm gonna give you guys little secrets. I have this pearlescent white. It's just kind of a little fun, and I add it to the end of every painting I do. I just find an area where it would be fun to be really bright and shiny. It's almost like sparkles, but not too obnoxious. Let me show you. Can you see it on this black over here? It's kind of like a little sparkly thing, but like just little. I'm not a sparkle girl at all, but I spent 2 years of my life. I teach high school, and I taught 2 years of my life in the elementary school classroom, and I will never allow glitter in any area. But this, I love it. Okay, so I'm just gonna brush on like a little over here, like, and it just makes it kind of sparkle. What the heck, guys? I'll lift it up and show you. This is amazing. So I'm gonna add it around the sun, and it like just adds a ton. I'm gonna add a little over here. Okay, let me show you. I might do a little in the peach clouds. I barely do any, but that's my secret. Let me see if you guys can see it. Super fun. There. You can see it as it goes. Just like a little bit of that. Okay, are you ready? Be careful about this. I need that to dry for one more second. And then we're going to pull this out. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's try it. Just this is my thing. I'm just rubbing the sun out. And you guys can, if you have taken, yeah, pulling it off. It's awesome. Oh my gosh, what the heck? Love it. See? Look at that. It preserved it really white for me. So you guys may have been pulling it out with this. So just keep doing that. While that's like that, I'm going to pull a couple of sun rays out again. There we go. And then my other secret is a white paint marker. And I am going to pull out a little bit from there. Highlight those in. I'm going to drag them down. It's acrylic paint, so you can kind of pull it down a little. And maybe add a couple of places in here, just a couple of dots where we might have wanted to preserve some more white. Just a little bit. We don't need a lot. Here, maybe up in here. It just adds a little interest, just a little bit. Also may highlight the tops of these. I'm gonna put a little bit of, just a little, and then dab that off. Just, we got one more layer in there. There we go. And then up here. Maybe one more. Okay, guys, let's peel it off and see what we got. Yes, babe. I love it. It's a nice warm color, like a nice warm sunsetty. I hope you guys absolutely loved it. Let's zoom out. And hopefully your water jars are as dirty as mine. And your paper towel is as nasty as mine. And you had so much fun. I'll see you guys next time. We'll do some awesome, more landscapes, some other cool things. Subscribe. And check me out on Instagram. I'll have a bunch of cool little short videos on there as well. Have a great day, guys.